everybody, Todd Dankett here with TNM News for yet another Todd Talk. And with me today is an old friend. Not that she's old, but she's just an old friend. Her name is Chef Dee, of course, the Happy Chef, and she is a cannabis consultant and chef. And she helps other brands, states, countries, and anybody who needs any kind of edible anything, right? She helps design production kitchens, helps them with licensing her recipes, brand development, formulations. She does lots of compliance work and a whole lot more. She also helps spread awareness to the healing benefits of cannabis through her appearances on many advocate speaking panels as a keynote speaker and an expert in her field. Her features include Forbes, Bloomberg, PR NewsWire, Benzinga, Yahoo Finance, Herb.co, Hightimes, and others, as well as her work in television appearances on Netflix original series Cooking on High, Snoop Dogg's MERRYJANE, Smoke in the Kitchen, Be Real TV, and of course, right here at the National Marijuana News. She does interviews and a whole lot more. She uses her platform to educate everybody on the science behind the cannabis plants, edibles, proper dosing, patient referrals, and whatever you need to know when choosing and making your medicine. She's also my good friend. Please welcome back to TNM News, Chef Dee, the very happy chef. Dee, welcome back to TNM News.
Hey, mi amigo, ¿qué está pasando, mano? How are you?
I'm well. How are you? So you're speaking Spanish there because you're in Puerto Rico now, right?
Puerto Rico, exacto. You know, Isla de Encanto. Very beautiful day. I mean, I had to even wear my Method 7 glasses. These are the glasses I usually wear in the grow, but my future is bright and it's bright outside too.
Yeah.
Down here in the islands. It's very hot, but beautiful every day. You're based in Las Vegas? How's the beautiful weather in Las Vegas this hot summer?
Yeah, you know, it's starting to heat up a little bit, but we're having so far an unnatural cool June. We haven't even seen 100 degrees yet. And actually, this coming up this weekend, it's supposed to hit 99. But the Vegas Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup, so everybody in Vegas is very, very, very happy. And it's a big parade happening this weekend and everything. So, things are good. Things are good. The cannabis industry is making some positive changes and moves to the right direction, which is nice to see. And new legislation has been passed to benefit the consumer and to benefit all of the folks in the industry. Still a long way to go and a lot of things to do, but they are moving in the right direction, which is always a positive sign. Right? How's things in Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico is a medical market only. With it looks like in the near future they plan on going into adult use or recreational, however you would like to call it. Right. The market is very good here. The patients are very astonished, as I am, as a new market it is. They're very well educated on the process, and the education keeps growing and getting better. The products that are out here are, especially mine, are definitely high quality. And I just had
to do there. High quality.
Yeah, I saw that. And of course, all of my products are made with love and, of course, happiness. So, it has to come because it comes from the Happy Chef.
Yes, ma'am.
And me moving down here and living down here inspired me so much with the culture and whatnot. And I actually just had to celebrate a little bit of an anniversary of the Happy Chef Cannabis Cookbook, my first expert cannabis cookbook that I launched in 2013 with Be Real of Cypress Hill as a collaboration.
I happen to have it right here.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at that.
Who's that girl? Who's that girl? Oh,
I know.
That was when I was brunette. But
but I have a signed copy. I have a signed copy.
Yeah, exactly. Yours is worth more. This isn't signed. This isn't signed at all. on its 10-year anniversary, as I've been, learning, and honestly, like the culture here is so beautiful, as well as the weather. And I started doing some research on if there is any cannabis cookbooks available in Spanish, and I didn't find any. So please leave a comment below if you guys out there have seen a cannabis cookbook that is in Spanish. But I decided to, on the 10-year anniversary of the Happy Chef, to launch the Happy Chef in Espanol, so that at more and more countries that are, Spanish speaking, as well as South America, Mexico, Colombia, et cetera, Argentina, Costa Rica, they're all putting marijuana on the ballots, then it's going to be legalized there. So more education that I can give to the patients, consumers, as well as, you always know, I always say it's make your own medicine. And the more you know about what you're putting in your body, the better your health and overall health is wealth. So that
for sure. And you know what? Good education creates good legislation as well. So it's important that the lawmakers, take a look at these books and get educated as well. Because, very often the folks making the rules are, cannabis novices, as we all know. So always good.
You and I had to go to bat a few times in Nevada when I was in the Nevada market. And when you don't manufacture, and you're not in the process, and you don't know that the ones that are making the laws and the regulations, we have to be the educators to them. So it actually makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's interesting that still, even, we're 8 years in, right, in Nevada, coming up on 9 years. And they still need education. People still don't know. They still don't understand, what this plant is all about, and the benefits and the attributes and how it can help. It's just amazing, right? It's just amazing.
Yeah, truly. And also, I still, even though I see myself as an academic, my job as an academic is to, spread the knowledge, right? That is everyone's job that is an academic. But I also still feel like a student, even though I'm seen as an expert. I'm always learning. There's more case studies due to prohibition. All of these studies weren't able to be done. So I'm always learning. I'm always researching. And that's why I keep publishing more books, and also creating new editions when another discovery becomes aware.
Right.
And I think the best thing that we can do as a conscious culture for all of society, for all of humanity, is to keep spreading this education, because the cannabis market is only getting larger, and literally the whole world is turning green. And it's a beautiful thing, because you've now given patients choice, and people that have found quality of life with this plant, such as we've already seen it with, like kids suffering with cancer or epilepsy. We've seen the powers of this plant and what it is capable of doing, and the patients and consumers that are consuming cannabis in whatever matter they decide, whether it's inhalation, consumables, or the oh so fun suppositories, whatever your flavor, it's great to know that they have that data, and they know that, because you are your best doctor. You're the only one that knows how you feel. And I'm more than happy to put that, and honored that I brought so much relief to many with my products, because I've designed quite a few over my career. Since I've been in since 2006 now. Gosh, wow. I heard that comment, by the way, about you saying, oh, I'm old and everything. I heard that.
No, you're not old. You're just an old friend, because I've known you for a long time. I'm the old friend in this relationship. So
yeah, but you know what they say, you're only as old as how you feel. And I still feel young. As a matter of fact, I'm getting younger in the days, and I blame that all on cannabis. I can tell my chemicals that I make me look younger, and honestly, the stress relief that I get from my products.
Yeah.
Always.
It's funny, because I've been working out lately, and I'm in this like class. It's kind of like a boot camp kind of a thing, and I was talking to the dudes. There's some new dudes in the class this week, and they asked me, Oh, how long you been here? We've been talking, and my goal has always been to get in shape. Excuse me, for my 60th birthday, which is coming up, and the dudes were like, "Bro, you're 60, right?" And they say, "What's your secret?" And I said to them, "Well, I'm literally on no medication. I take no prescribed medication. I eat healthy, and I smoke weed, and that's my prescription for good health and staying young." You know what I mean? And he was like, "Man, you got to meet my dad. He's like younger than you and looks terrible." It was just so funny. So,
See, that's what I always say. Cannabis keeps you young. It truly does, and I do believe it's due to stress. Because cannabis is a CBD, and many of the cannabinoids help with anxiety and stress. And if there is not something that we've all experienced collectively the most is stress, especially the last 3 years. And my friend, I was very, very much like you, as you know, and we've spoke on many of my panels. I'm very active. I eat very healthy. I grew up in the Appalachian Mountains and the farmland, so everything was farm to table when I in my youth and growing up. And up until last year, I didn't even keep aspirin in my house. And last year I ended up suffering a pulmonary embolism. Which is those of you guys that don't know what that is, that those are clots in your lungs that literally, I was rushed to the Mayo West Hospital, and I could not breathe, and it restricted airways into my lungs to a point where I had to get shots of heparin, and then I ended up being on blood thinners. Lots of things happened with that, as well as when you suffer pulmonary embolism as a woman, you can't get pregnant at all during that time. Birth control pills also can create clots. So I had to get put on a Moderna IUD, and I no knock, because if it weren't for doctors, I would not be here today. The doctors at Mayo West Hospital, special shout out to the Simonetti family, the Dr. Simonetti. They saved my life here on the island. And I have the utmost respect for doctors, but the medicines that they had me on, I was not myself. And I had to be on them for a year. I couldn't even take a flight off the island for 6 months because flights cause clots. And it wasn't until this past January when I finally got off blood thinners and I got off everything. I got off birth control, and I started getting back to my regimen, that I actually started feeling healthy again and started feeling like myself. So, and I'm one of many, and I know it because I know I'm not alone in this. And it was an unfortunate circumstance that sadly, and I do say this so sadly, I am unable to smoke cannabis due to my pulmonary embolism and my lungs. So now Edible D literally is Edible D, because that's my main method of consumption now.
Well, that's great. It's probably better
but
for you.
I never stop.
Yeah. Good.
I'm not a quitter.
Everything
is a quitter.
Yeah, I'm so happy that everything worked out. You look great. You look really nice and healthy and beautiful as ever. So yes, congrats and thank you to all those doctors that helped you, for sure. So let's talk about what you're up to. I know you just released these cool new books, and obviously there's your Delic Dishes book that is probably doing really well because of the interest in psychedelics these days. In fact, Nevada just passed a law that I think the governor just signed the law to start research on psilocybin here in Nevada, which is very exciting.
Shut the front door. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
See, if I was still in Nevada, I could still play. I did it when I was in Nevada, of course, fracturing a few laws or so. But haven't we all? That cookbook is definitely I published that in 2020. I was in writing of that for 3 years, and that has done extremely well, especially during lockdown. I found out the mushroom use, I think, skyrocketed since people couldn't travel. They had to take a trip one way or another. So the book definitely, as it was released in 2020, it's done very, very well. And I have a lot of research and science in there as well on psilocybin from studies and labs that actually are legal to do this. Mainly in San Diego, they started. I believe they have a research facility. But in that book, in that book, I combine cannabis and psilocybin together, as well as teach you how to grow it. It also includes links to my how-to videos of how to grow your own magic, how to pasteurize your substrate, how to inoculate your spores in corn tech, as well as how to cook with psilocybin, and how to microdose, how to dose yourself, similar to what I do with all of my other books on cannabis, as well as I include cannabis recipes and infusing the magic and Merry. They're a great marriage together. They really, really are. And they are my favorite.
It's a great book and very informative, and it teaches you how to go on a proper trip. Right.
Yeah. Have you made it yours yet? Have you colored in the coloring book in the back? Because that's the actual fun part of the oh so trippy coloring book. You can draw your own mushroom for Mr. Caterpillar over here, and you got to draw your own magic. You never know. You got to make it yours. I know you're an artist. Todd. I want to see what you can.
You know what? Next time we talk, I'll be colored in, and I'll show you my artwork. So tell me more about what's happening in Puerto Rico. I know that you've helped design a bunch of facilities, and you got new brands coming out. So just catch me up. What's going on?
Well, I thank you. I've to date, I have designed, meaning blueprinted and designed 3 kitchens on the island, 3 manufacturing kitchens on the island. And my latest one just opened. For manufacturing, we opened in September. And my launch there, my partnership there is Rosaretta, and it is a beautiful line. And when I literally say beautiful, I mean, look at these colors. It's nice. Beautiful. And I did a lot of regional marketing and research here because, for those of you out there that don't know what a regional marketing is, in some markets, some things don't sell the same. That's why Anheuser-Busch has so many different beers under their umbrella of catalog, because certain beers and certain tastes and flavors work better for certain markets. You can go to California, and cherry and grape and watermelon and sour apple would be like the top sellers. But down here on the island, it would be guava and passion fruit and mango piña and sour key lime, which are exactly the flavors that I launched. And all of my edibles here are infused with bubble hash rosin. So it's a solventless extraction process. And they are a hit. And it's crazy, just seeing which flavors sell on different parts of the island the most, and it just kind of shows you how each part of the island has its own flavor and estilo or style and taste. And so certain parts of the island, my passion fruits might sell best, or other parts, my sour key limes. Actually, the sour line, I put Sour Patch Kids to shame here. These are my favorites. I'm a Sour Patch Kid fan. So, and these are all, none of my products for Rosaretta are bioengineered. They are all naturally flavored, no artificial coloring. I also have mango piña. That's another big one. That's really big in Ponce. And my latest, hold on, hibiscus is also very big in Ponce. But my latest and greatest line that I just launched right now, so y'all get the exclusive because it's coming out next week, is think Gushers, or if you're from Puerto Rico, think Bulu. And they are my guava bursts. So it is filled as a gummy that is filled with a syrup that bursts into your mouth. And my first flavor that I did was guava. And these are probably my favorite of the favorites of every flavor all of them are my favorites. I can't lie. But these are definitely going to be a hit. So I really can't wait to see how the market here enjoys them as much as I do.
Right, and those are because it's a medical market, right? Aren't they pretty high dose in for THC?
Correct. The ones that I just showed you, these are single servings. So I do these in 25 milligrams as well as 100. And but I also have multi-packs. So I do a 10 pack where I do 10 milligrams, 10 gummies in a unit. And then I also do a 20 pack with 5 milligrams of all the flavors as well, just because there are those that, just need a little relief, or, maybe they just have a little bit like maybe an 80-year-old woman just wants a little help with her arthritis and has a lower tolerance. So 5 milligrams would do her just right. So I like to make a dose for everybody. And I must say, working with solventless and infusing with bubble hash rosin, I very much so love the effects more than any of my distillate products that I've ever made for any market. Right. I'm a big fan of Rosaretta, and very honored. It's a great partnership. These guys are awesome. And
awesome. And it's available all throughout the island, everywhere, and all
everywhere, all over the island, and they are displayed front and center because they're so pretty. They're just like every dispensary that I've gone into. It's and we don't even ask them to. They're just right there. They're just because they're so colorful and beautiful.
Well, that's awesome.
They're definitely flying off the shelves. So I'm very happy that the people of Puerto Rico love them. So thank you for that.
Awesome. Well, that's great. Anything else? Making any other products? Are you doing other things? I know that you were doing American Green, and is that still all that?
I'm still working with American Green. I designed their manufacturing lab that's in Arizona, in Phoenix. And get this, I named my kitchen Sweet Virginia because your girl's from Virginia, and it happens to be off Cypress Avenue. Do you think that's a coinky dink or what? I know Todd is not that freaking amazing. So, of course, I designed their products, which you can get at AmericanGreen.com, as well as EliteGardenCBD.com. I designed their products. That roll-on is probably the best topical I've ever made in my entire existence. And I literally designed it because my brother was a surfer. And I designed it mainly for surfers because it's quick to absorb and it's not oil-based. So it gives you pain relief when you're doing water sports, and surfers have to deal with the wax on their boards, so oil-based would destroy the wax as well as their stomachs. So it's fast acting, it's quick absorbent, and I use it probably every day for my carpal, etc. But that's Elite Garden CBD. I still heavily work with.
What's it called again, and where do we get it?
EliteGardenCBD.com. It's the topical roll-on.
Nice.
And it is infused with lots of goodness there, and as well as. Pardon?
A guy my age needs a lot of pain relief, so I'll have to pick some up.
If I could, I would make a enormously large batch of it and put it in a bathtub. But unfortunately, in my condo here, I don't have a bathtub. But I would definitely, maybe I can get a kiddie pool. That's an idea. I'll get a kiddie pool and fill the whole thing and just lay in it. But that's definitely a star product and a heavy. It's very, very popular, and a lot of professional surfers use it and have shouted me out in Elite Gardens for that. As well as I'm still heavily working with Dr. Greenthumb, of course. Thank you, Kenji Fujishima and Jamie Fujishima. Love you, woman. That's his wife. And Be Real and all of Be Real TV. I love all of you guys so much. There's so many A-Time, E-Zone. There's so many, Pedro. I love you guys so much. I miss you, and I can't wait to see you next time I'm in LA. Of course, Dr. Dina, that's my sister. I love that woman so much. And she actually just got a license for retail in New York. So congratulations to my bestie, my Twinkie, Dr. Dina. I love you so much. And I'm looking forward to seeing what things pop off in the Big Apple.
They have some weird laws. There's been over 1,100 illegal dispensaries pop up in the state of New York, and the authorities are having a really hard time cracking down. But they have vowed to do so, right? But it's becoming very, very difficult to run a business out there.
Yes, I've heard it. You know, that kind of happens in every market. I know it happened in ours in Nevada. Every new market kind of goes through that wave, and
Yeah.
you know, pun and completely intended. You know, the those ones will get weeded out, and you know, then there will be the one.
I see what you
Uh,
did.
you see, I'm all, you know, I'm the queen of puns. I'm the queen
Got
of
him.
puns.
Right.
And I'm hoping, like literally hoping, crossing my fingers, you know, because I'm originally from Virginia, and the climate and just Virginia is the perfect place to cultivate. And you know, being born and raised there, I would love to be able to bring it back home. And their regulations and laws are pretty funny as well. They had
Yeah,
they have another.
they passed legalization, then they took it back, then they passed it again, then they took it back. What's going on there?
You know why? Because they flipped with governors from red to blue, from Republican to Democrat, and then they didn't vote. So they're revoting again in July. So the General Assembly will meet again come February, but it's still looking like they're going to be pushing for places to open. Licenses have not been released yet. But I am very much hoping and would love to bring the market back home because you know, that's still my home. That's still where my heart is. I think pieces of my heart are like in all my homes though. Like I still have a heart in Las Vegas. I still have a heart in Los Angeles. And of course I have so much heart and love for Puerto Rico. Thank you so much here. But you know, me, sweet Virginia, that's where my roots are.
Yeah, I
So
think last time we
can't wait.
spoke over a year ago, you were
Is that
partner.
BizCon? I was with one of my clients for Virginia.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, he was a big restaurant owner that you used to work at, right? You were going to help him create a whole
before
line.
I got before I got into cannabis, I used to run his restaurants. And yeah, so they're with now with COVID happening and the restaurant business kind of declined. But you know, it's even funny, even when the restaurant business before COVID, you know, they called me up and they said, "All right, Dee, like you know when it gets legal here, like we're calling you." And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." And, you know, I'm like, you know, same as you, we get calls all the time because you know, literally the industry is growing so fast, and it's just you know, like we can all barely keep up. You know, it's like slow down. But sure enough, second it started getting legal, hey, we told you. Remember, we told you that like a couple years ago. We would be giving you a call, and so I'm really looking forward to how they vote on July. I'm very much looking forward to Virginia legalizing. Please come on, and so I can bring it home, and then I get to hang out with more of my family more, which is
Nice.
always very important because family is everything.
Yeah, that's for sure. That is for
Yeah.
sure. So you sounds like you've been very, very busy over there on the island. Any time to relax and go to the beach?
Uh, of course. I live on the beach. I live in Rincon, which is like the best part of the island. I'm sorry. There's so many beautiful and best parts of the island, but my favorite is Rincon. And I live on the beach here. And if you have not been here, you need to come. And this is the most famous surf spot in the whole island. And they have fabulous restaurants. My favorite is Capriccio. And and then Red Flamboyant. Oh my goodness, so good. Spires. I'm a chef, so I have to give you the best restaurants to go to on this side of the island. But the water, I mean, you know, being able to walk out like so far and you can see everything. You know, it's actually kind of weird. Like when you go diving, you know, I went to what is it? Shipwreck? No, crash boat. Beautiful, another beautiful part of the island. And I went diving there, and you see everything in the reef, and I literally like hitched a ride on a sea turtle, and a sea turtle
Wow.
just like
Nice.
swimming around, and it's literally magical here. And then the bioluminescence bays. If you don't know what a bioluminescent bay is, like think Avatar. You know, you're swimming and you're glowing all around. And I actually wrote about it in Delic Dishes. I wrote all about bioluminescence bays and my experience with it. Let me see if I can find it real quick because I know I have a photo. Da, da, da. Where are you?
That's great that you're diving there, though. Yeah, I bet the diving there is great. I haven't scuba dove. Is that what you say? Scuba dove?
There we
Uh,
go.
quite some
That's
time.
what bioluminescence bays look like.
Wow.
And literally, if a fish comes at you, the bioluminescence, it like outlines the fish and outlines yourself. So you're literally like swimming and you're glowing.
Right.
And there's seven of these all over the island.
Oh wow.
You can go to Vieques or like Turtle Bay is one of my favorite ones to go to. But I definitely recommend doing that when they're on your trip to Puerto Rico. Next time you come down here and see me, Todd, I got a room for you, and we'll go kayaking. We'll take some magic and some Merry, and we'll go avatar it up.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't been to Puerto Rico in a few years. It's certainly since the pandemic, but yeah, it's a beautiful place for sure, and you are lucky to call that home. And as beautiful as Las Vegas is, there's no ocean. I've looked everywhere, and there's no ocean.
And Lake Mead is getting a little low, right? They're kind of finding some some barrels of maybe some lobsters making people go away.
Yeah, the bodies are floating to the top, and yeah, it's not really an ocean what I'm used to in Florida, but yeah, I would never scuba dive in Lake Mead. I mean, no offense to Mead or anything, but it's dirty and you know, it's not.
You get spoiled. You get really spoiled down here in the Caribbean. The Caribbean water, it's you can see through it, and it's like bath water. It's so warm.
Right. Oh yeah, I know.
Then I went home to Virginia and Virginia Beach, and I'm like, oh, like
yeah. My
friend used to say, my friend used I can't see my feet. I'm going back to the sand. I'm going back to the sand.
Right. My friend used to say when I grew up in Florida, he used to say he was from New York, where the water is also very cold. And he would always say, yeah, swimming in Florida water, it's like swimming in spit because it's so warm. Right. But I used to scuba dive in shorts, no wetsuit, no nothing, shorts, and you're good to go,
I'm usually in a bikini where I have like a waterproof like camera that I take down, and I just have my snorkel and my goggles, or I'll just go diving like straight up with a tank. And same, I wear like the top part, but it's definitely it's so beautiful down here, and I like heat. That's why I lived in Las Vegas and Los Angeles. I like warm. Helps with my arthritis. Cold does not do well for me for my arthritis.
For sure. So you've been very busy creating all these new products, building all these new kitchens, writing these books, and re-releasing and all that stuff. What do you got coming up?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Todd. Actually, I've been in writing for 5 years. This is my biggest baby, and it is unlike any of the other works that I've done. I actually started writing a textbook, and it's called Manufacturing Cannabis, The Art of Cannabis Alchemy. And it's also going to be released in Spanish as Alquimia Cannabica and Manufactura de Cannabis. And I will be launching that. It's due to release July next year. It is a little over 500 pages as of right now. So it is a full-figured gal. And this is a textbook. I cover everything from the history and the culture to the extraction process of solventless to solvents of whether it's hydrocarbon to CO2 to ethanol, all the way down to the infusion, all the way to the data in labs and talking to your physician, CBD, hemp, as well as dosing when it comes to humans and that body mass, and as well as pets, our furry little friends. I've got 2. So I like to think that I've covered all the bases. I have the questions and answers. I have an answer sheet in the back, as well as questions behind every chapter. And I definitely, I've put my heart and soul and my whole career into this baby. So I'm very, very proud of its release. And I can't wait to see, because I'm hoping, my dream for it is that when legalization comes to fruit, is that my textbook will be picked up by universities and people can actually study and learn how to do what we do. Because being I was a license holder, as Todd, as you know, and Wasn't it not difficult to find employees because there's not that many that know how to do what we do. So, uh, and you know, this is a sad pun, but like you would get they would just get weeded out because some of them just really loved cannabis, but not necessarily loved working with it. And then you have it's great to be able to hire assets, people that are extremely passionate and want to learn the process and methods, and also test those methods and push those methods, like push it to the limit. And because we're constantly collecting data and we're constantly learning. And what does that more prove to me is when you actually want to get certified in doing it and have a degree in it. And I think that will change the industry. It will change the business owners from, you actually get more qualified candidates, as well as it will open up more job opportunities and again, create more education. And I'm very much hoping to put this textbook in not one, but multiple universities that would take up on a marijuana cannabis curriculum. So that's my goal for the baby. But however, it will be released next July. July 10th is the date that I'm planning. So
couple of days before my birthday. So that's exciting.
That's right. We're dancers. We're the best.
Yeah. So you haven't been traveling much because you couldn't fly there for a minute. Any plans to get out to LA or Vegas or Virginia?
Let me see. I was my embolism happened last April, and I didn't travel until November. And that was to see, and I saw you at BizCon, and that was in Las Vegas. I went to Los Angeles, Las Vegas. Then I went to Virginia for the holidays, and I have not left yet, but I am planning on going back to Virginia to the Appalachians on my birthday in July 18th.
Nice.
My next trip to LA, Vegas, I believe, is in September.
Awesome.
So far. So I hope to start getting traveling a bit more. It's a little difficult. I have another kitchen that's going to be opening here soon. Of course, I'm going to have to be in there full time when we first open training, et cetera, et cetera. So, but I try to escape paradise every so often to see the people that I love. So sure. I'll be seeing y'all soon.
Yeah. So how does that work? If you've built several kitchens in Puerto Rico and you're licensing out several different recipes, is it a competition with each other there on the island, or is it more like a co-opetition?
Absolutely not. And that's why I love doing a consultant and being a formulator, because I have people that come to me and they either have a brand or they want a brand and they have the capital and they want to open up in the industry. And some of them, they all want different things, and I cater to my clients and to what they want. And I'm like, okay, what do you want to be vegan? Do you want to be, non-GMO? Like what style gummy do you want? Do you want gummies and candies and confections? Do you want baked goods? Do you want chocolates? And I've created a plethora at this point of different styles, different kinds. Some of them want the not healthy at all, just straight nostalgic, off the shelf candy that is just rots your teeth and all bad for you, but kind of good for you because it's dosed with the goodness. And, but that would be with like an ethanol or a hydrocarbon extraction to distillate in those gummies. And then I have, clients like Rosaretta, where everything is a solventless, all natural process. And everything is not bioengineered, non-GMO, and all natural flavoring and no artificial, people want different things. And again, like different flavors, like I help, I guess mold or like direct the clients into what they can do, to what cost they want and to what fits their brand. And right. So every one of my products that I develop for every client is different and unique.
Yeah, that's important. That's important to do that. Any plans on maybe helping Dina out up in New York?
Oh, you know it. Me and Dina, we're the double D's. We work so great together.
Awesome. All right. Anything else that you'd like to share with us? And you still got the same website, and I know you got different socials now. So why don't you share that with us?
No, I got same website, edibledee.com. I still have my Patreon where I help people one-on-one, and I have my my how-to videos there. And it's available for free, as well as it's available for like different subscriptions if you want to, really get, nerdy with it and some weed science. But all of my handles on all my social medias, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, etc., is all Edible D. I have all those handles, but because of the metaverse not liking the cannabis industry so much, I have backup accounts of Edible D IG as well as Edible D OG, as well as Twitter. I'm very, very fond of Twitter because they love the cannabis industry and they will never delete me. So I am Edible D on Twitter as well. So those are my handles. That's how you find me. And I have a shop on my site as well where I have my books, my merchandise, as well as my products. And you can find all of my clients and partners on there and their products, as well as I have some free recipes and tips and tricks on there too. So come find me.
Yeah, and you can always find Edible D right here at TNM News. So should we start up again another weekly podcast? Do you have time for that, or maybe a bi-weekly, monthly?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Let's at least let's say bi-weekly right now. Let's do at least 2 a month because I miss you, man.
Yeah, no,
Mi corazón, I miss you, man. It's been too long.
I don't know how to say that in Spanish, but I miss you too. Well, it sounds like you really picked up the language. Did you know Spanish before, or did you just learn it because you live there?
No. I had to learn fast, but I learned quite a bit working with Cypress for a decade plus because they are a Latino hip hop group and Mexican, but the Mexican Spanish is so different than Puerto Rican Spanish. Puerto Rican Spanish is very fast. So I've apps have helped me, as well as I got an old school Spanish textbook that's helped me, and just honestly just not being scared to speak it. And I have friends that help me as well as I got a tutor. My friend Gladys helps me a lot, and I got a tutor, her cousin Maria, who is a English and Spanish teacher here on the island. So that's helped me develop the accent better as well. So
it sounds like you live there.
Yeah,
it's all working.
It's all working, and I'm working. It's like work.
And scuba dive and go to the beach and
you gotta work hard, play hard. You gotta mix it up. You gotta mix it up.
Oh, 100%. Well, Dee, it was great catching up. Great seeing you. You look great. You sound great. I'm so happy that you're healthy and a happy, healthy chef once again. So make sure you check out Dee at edibledee.com and at edibledee at all of the socials. Also, you can catch her right here on TNM News. And look for us every couple of weeks. We're going to come out with a 30-minute, 40-minute educational piece on what you should know about cannabis and cannabis edibles and cannabis science, because I know Dee is a big fan of weed science for sure. Any last words for the folks out there?
Te amo mucho. I love you very much. And thank you guys always for the love and support. I feel it. I feel it. And I'm sending it right back to you. Lots of love, health, and healing to all of you. All my cannabis heads and consumers, peace and love. And I wish you a very happy and healthy life in a few years. And let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Well, she's Edible D. You can check her out, like I said, edibledee.com and at Edible D. I'm Todd Dankin. I'm with TNM News. And good night, everyone, and have a pleasant tomorrow.